Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Mary Poppins Returns. Look at this absolutely lovely print that we received at tonight's screening. It's Mondo work from Disney, which they release on things like steelbooks often, but wow, what a nice departure from just the normal movie poster that we received. This is a very nice print, and I think a lovely piece of work. But is the film a lovely piece of work? Well, it is completely nonsensical, utterly ridiculous, but that is precisely why it works as well as it does, because I think this is quite the charming film. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives. Far and away, the biggest positive for me personally is Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. She is wonderful in this role. I absolutely adored her as the famous nanny. She did a beautiful job of paying homage and inspiration to Julie Andrews' obviously iconic and irreplaceable version, while breathing new life into Mary Poppins, bringing her into the new age, and I think she did so expertly well. She's always conveying something in the film, whether it's a song and dance number, whether it's just a quiet moment, or just a look. I think she is acting each and every moment she's on the screen, but it comes off so effortlessly and natural that you would never be able to tell. She just fully embodied this character, and I absolutely adored this version of Mary Poppins. I also think Ben Whishaw was very good in this film. He's asked to do a lot of the emotional heavy lifting for the film at large, and he handles it all expertly well. I really enjoyed his Mr. Banks, if you will. Lin-Manuel Miranda is perfectly lovely. He doesn't have as much of the depth, but he is asked to do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to singing and dancing, and he pulls all that off expertly well. I loved Meryl Streep's elongated cameo in the film. She was really funny, really fun. You could tell she was having so much fun with the role. The accent was over the top and ridiculous, but she stayed in it. That's the key. She never lost that accent, and she fully committed to this role, and that's what made it work. I thought Colin Firth was very good. All of our actors were very good, including those very nice cameos near the end of the film that were just lovely to behold. The next positive is the music. I first want to just mention the original score here because it is absolutely fantastic. The score really just captured me. Right from the opening credits, I was blown away by this beautiful score that was set to the film. And it continues to just lift and move and create throughout the entirety of the movie. It really is a magical score. And I thought the original songs were lovely as well. There are a few refrains that we hear several times, and they are really catchy, really hum-worthy. I don't know that we have anything that will be a classic, like, of course, several of the songs from the original are, but we have really solid songs to live up to that legacy. And the dance numbers are stellar. In particular, there is a dance number involving light poles in this movie near the middle, which, again, Lin-Manuel Miranda really takes the lead on. And it is so good. This is like tip-top musical theater at its finest. You feel like you've been transported into this magical world of a Broadway show, and it was lovely. But all of the choreography is really good. It all is executed very well. We get those big, bold, brazen musical numbers that you're hoping to receive from an old-school musical like this. Also, the costumes. Oh my gosh, the costumes are so good. Of course, Mary Poppins is dressed to the nines throughout the film. She never has even the slightest of missteps in a single costume she wears. But in particular, everyone's costume, when we enter into the animated segment, is amazing. All of those costumes are just outstanding. And the set designs in this film are also outstanding. The animation in that segment is beautiful, and how they blend the live action in with those animated characters, with the animated setting, even putting animated hats onto characters, it was done so well. It brought whimsy, it added to the story, it told its own story, and it worked perfectly for me. Of course, the film has something to say, much like the original did as well. This has a slightly different something to say, though along the same lines. And the messages come through beautifully. There are a lot of life lessons to be had through whimsy and song, and I think it's all done to great effect. And it showcases the children learning to great effect through Mary Poppins. And really, this just captured the essence of the original Mary Poppins. It captured the feeling, the whimsy, the fun, and the messaging behind the original without really copying it, I don't think. It really paid homage to that original while updating it and giving it a fresh spin in a way that worked. And I think that's why this film is such a joy to behold. So, what does not work so well when it comes to Mary Poppins Returns? Well, I think length overall. It's too long. This film clocks in at over 2 hours, and I think it easily could have been under that 2-hour mark, probably closer to 145. So I know we cut out a lot of musical numbers already, but some of these sequences they went on a bit too long overall. So as much as I loved the animation in the animated sequence, that little sub-story drug on a little bit too long. And then we would go to another sub-story and a little sub-adventure and lesson, and it also would drag on just a bit too long. And it felt like most all of our little side adventure lessons overstayed just a bit. So if we would have just trimmed all of those down, I think the runtime would have been a lot more effective and the flow of the film would have went along a little bit more smoothly. I also think our villains are not good. In many ways, this definitely feels like a film a bit out of its time, because it does feel very similar to the atmosphere and filmmaking of the original and feels more like a film of that time. But maybe the most glaring area that takes place in are the villains of this film. Of course, they're bankers, and they're like these stuffy white men, in particular, 2 of them. But they're so like diabolically evil, wahaha, that it was like, oh my gosh. One of the henchmen bankers in particular was just really annoying and unbearable. And then some of the special effects, I think, actually already date this film. So the animation is beautiful, and all of the effect work that goes into putting live action people in there looks wonderful. However, in particular, the scene where we go into the water and we have this nice little water adventure, and really anytime anyone is not walking and standing firmly on ground, whether they're floating up or whether they're swimming down, the effects look like not good. They look like something mid-2000s-ish. Very clearly this weird awkward person up against this green screen. And I do think Disney falls into this green screen problem a little more frequently than you'd like. But honestly, these negatives, particularly that last one, are minor quibbles in what is otherwise a very charming, lovely film that fully embraces the atmosphere and beauty and whimsy of the original and delivers it into theaters at the perfect time while the cultural climate here and around the world feels so tense and so dark right before the holidays. This is a beautiful blast of fresh air that allows Mary Poppins to instill wisdom and lessons upon us all. So I think Mary Poppins Returns is worth a full price ticket for the whole family. Introduce them to this iconic character and allow yourself be introduced to a lovely new film that recaptures your childhood. So that is my review of Mary Poppins Returns. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Mary Poppins Returns? And what is your favorite Disney sequel? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!